going viral and getting local leads are two completely different things.
Yeah.
And honestly, it made me go insane. I was driving myself crazy because we were spending all this money on a fancy production team and everything you can think of, creating incredible content. But clients don't really care. They care about closed deals, right? Like business owners only care about closed deals.
Welcome to the On-Site Podcast. We chat with contractors, educators, industry professionals about the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's fucking get into it.
All right, welcome back to the On-Site Podcast. Today we have a special guest, Kari from Calgary. Kari is with Stampede Sales, primarily focusing on Instagram, local ads, and local exposure. And Kari is one of the educators inside of our community as well. We just brought him on not that long ago. Dude had some wild skills, and I really just wanted to get involved with his business and his product. And so I'm excited to have him on today. Kari, thank you so much for being here. How you doing, brother?
Let's go, Brandon. Appreciate you having me on. I'm excited, man.
Nice. Well, that's awesome, dude. I see you got that Alex Hormozi book in the background there. That $6,000 book you got in the back.
Yeah. I've been meaning to remove it. I've been seeing so many people have it in the background. I was like, no, I'm not. I
don't even know where mine is. I have one. I don't even know where it is.
Yeah, dude, it's a good book though. It's a good book.
That's really good. Were you on the first call with him or the second one?
No, I got this from a friend.
No way. Okay, yeah. So you weren't even on there.
Yeah, no, I wasn't on there.
It was crazy. It was like poetry. It was like he controlled all of us like puppets.
Yeah.
And he took us right to the end of the sale and basically said, okay, you're going to give me $6,000 for a bunch of books so that you can give to your friends. It was wild. And so I missed the first one because I was busy. Yeah. And then I ended up jumping on the just random improv second call that he put on. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't buy the full package to gift 200 books, but I did buy the book and I got a couple other things, but it had a lot of great information in it, and a lot of what he does we already kind of do, but it was just reinforcing and validating to kind of just see that that's how he's grown his business. So it's cool. So anyway, we're not here to talk about Alex. He already gets too much screen time already for himself, and he's not paying to be here, and neither are you. But dude, I'm excited to dig into this with you and just chat with you about your business. So you're also in Calgary, different building, different view in the background, but ultimately, the same place. And I'm excited. Just learn a little bit more about who you are. We've chatted about your business. You've presented in our community. You had one of the highest show up rates for your call. If you didn't know that, I'm just going to let you know that you had one of the highest show up rates. Highest interest as well. So it shows that people are interested in learning how to expose their business on Instagram and really, capitalizing on the market. And so for everyone that's listening, the way Kari and I got connected actually was through one of his clients. And so I came across this ad with this dude in Calgary that installs a starlit ceiling, like the fiber optics cables that come through the ceilings. Well, he does them in bathrooms, over top of the bathtub, which sounds cool. It's not for me, but it sounds super cool. And I was super intrigued by the way the messaging was articulated. And I was like, who did your editing? I didn't even ask him about the product that he was offering. I was like, who did your editing? And then connected me with Kari. And then we've been chatting kind of ever since. And he's just got a unique vision on how to capitalize impressions in very specific neighborhoods and very specific areas and cities and communities for very specific services like bathtub starlit ceiling. It's a random thing to sell, but it caught my attention. And so Kari, tell us a little bit about, first off, like who you are and what you do, and then we can dig into, where all this knowledge came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And in all fairness, that was my most unique client. Like I don't get clients who who literally install the Rolls-Royce ceilings in people's bathtubs, but that was the only one of them. But yeah, so my name is Kari. Bit about me. I mean, what I do now, I help local service business owners. So it could be roofers, med spas, contractors, plumbers, you name the niche. We probably have worked with them. We help them get high-paying clients and customers directly through Instagram. So just through Instagram, not Google, no other platform. We specifically focus on Instagram because we focus on building them a hyper-local brand that's recognized in their city. And that is done through high-quality video content plus a hyper-local Instagram ad. And we have that ad running in a 15-25 mile radius around the service area of the contractor or the client that we're working with. And that drives traffic around Calgary to the client's profile, right? So the contractor's profile or their business profile as traffic to where they build their local brand. So rather than directing all that traffic to like a lead form or a website that wouldn't build as much trust, we take all that traffic and we send them straight into where the trust is actually built, the Instagram profile. And we convert that, we help them convert it through the DMs. That way, the entire sales process becomes super, super personal. And yeah, that's what we do. And it's not an agency. I teach business owners how to run the machine. So not only do I build the car, but I also teach them how to drive it.
Love it, brother. I can't recall if you brought it up on your presentation in our community, but Brady, one of the other coaches, he's newer with us, but he's been in the industry for a long ass time. And he mentioned that he's working on, cleaning up his digital storefront. And was that language that you kind of brought to the table? Because I feel like that came up after your call. So was that one of the elements that you have where you call the Instagram profile your digital storefront?
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly.
I found that so unique because that's truly what it is. I've been on Instagram. I've been in lots of Instagram focused coaching mentorship groups, and nobody's ever referred to it as a digital storefront. So I found that to be really unique and creative. And then to find that Brady pulled that from the presentation, which was great, by the way, to share it, with me when we were talking about, he's making these adjustments to a digital storefront, I thought was really, really awesome. And so I'd love to dig into, there's a couple elements specifically that, obviously really makes what you do so impactful. And so outside of the ad, the digital storefront, so to speak, it requires certain converting content on there to provide prospects that follow these companies a trust and validation. And so what can you tell us about what you recommend for contractors or people just in general that you work with your clients on, like what is required on this digital storefront for proper, successful conversion? Like if somebody lands on your page, the goal is that they convert into a client. Like if you're a business and you have a digital storefront, you want them to convert. And so what can you talk to us about that focus there?
Yeah, 100%. So before I even tell you what it is that you need to have to optimize your storefront, I'm going to tell you why it's important, right? So our system is basically broken down into 3 pillars. And because in essence, when you're doing marketing, what is marketing? Marketing is you're just funneling traffic, or you are directing traffic towards your business or your product or your service or whatever it is that you're selling, right? So in our case, we are taking that traffic through the ad. So we generate that traffic through the ad and we're funneling it to the page rather than a website or a lead form. So because that page is the source of the conversion, right? And where people want to, like when someone lands, like you want to have them convert, we need to have the best converting profile possible and the most efficient profile possible so that it can convert at the highest rate. The same way that you might have someone build out a website and make it look fancy and make it look, high converting with big buttons and like social proof so that it can convert at the highest rate. Same exact thing, because now the IG profile is the website. Yeah. It is the business card, right? So,
and the crazy part is so many people, like they overthink this or they undervalue it. I am on my guys all the time about posting content, stay consistent with your content, make sure that your content encapsulates how you solve problems for your clients in some way, shape or form. Like just post the damn content, make sure that it shares, how you're solving problems for clients in real time. And that's part of the digital storefront, but there are very specific elements that, I remember you had suggested, should be created for maybe your pinned posts or, for your profile on your digital storefront, in addition to just standard regular content.
Correct. So it would be mainly a couple of things. The first thing is a bio, right? An optimized bio. I need to know who you are, what you do, what problem you solve, who you serve, and what area you serve it in, right? And then how to contact you as well. So for example, Kari Mansur, I help Calgary service businesses get high-paying clients through Instagram.
Right.
And then serving, X area, for example, serving Calgary and the surrounding areas, even though we serve outside of Calgary too. Now we're going to go international.
Yeah.
And
we have a lot of clients. Like we have North America, like our clients are North American based, but this podcast recording is aired all across the world. Okay. So there's a couple opportunities that it could exist within that. But like, dude, I don't know if you have a split screen open on like if you can open another screen for yourself, but take a look at my Instagram and give me an audit of my bio.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it in a while, if I'm being completely honest.
Let's take a look. Yeah. And then the last thing would be in that bio. So before I go into the other posts or what you should have on your profile as posts is a way for people to contact you, right? So because a lot of people, they might not be as tech savvy as maybe you and I don't think I'm even this tech savvy yet, but they might not know how to actually contact you even if they needed your service, right? So we have to have a specific way for them to actually take the next step. And I hope you got this on your bio. If not, I'm gonna
oh yeah,
you know.
I mean my phone number's on there, so
okay,
pretty accessible.
Let's see. Yeah, DM me the word coach to start your change. So
there we go.
Yeah, sick.
So
you have contractors, 10x growth, 185 contractors transformed and scaling, and that's like a line of social proof, right? Something a bit like about you or kind of your values, which I like, and then DM me the word coach to start your change. That is an optimized profile because I know exactly what you do, where you do it, and then how to actually contact you, right? And this applies.
Does it give you the option to message me as well? Like, does it show? I think it should show my it number.
Should show maybe because it's I don't know if I'm on my laptop.
Oh, maybe because you're on your computer.
Yeah.
But on the mobile, it would show actually my email and my phone number as well.
100%. In terms of the posts, there's something that's very important that I would want to go over. That's probably going to be very valuable for anyone watching this call, which is what type of posts you should have in the beginning, like as pin posts, and then what you should do with your highlights. Because that's really one of the first things that we do with our clients is we got to optimize the Instagram profile, right? So as for the posts, you want to position yourself as an expert, as the industry leader, as the industry authority, right? For what you do, not someone that's going to be, treated as a low-level service provider, where they can negotiate on price, right? Because if you position yourself that way, you set an industry standard, right? And you become that knowledge hub. I mean, you could be freaking building boilers, right? Like selling hot boilers or something. You can sell absolutely anything, regardless of whatever micro niche you might be in, or even if you're just a roofer, right? If you position yourself as the best roofer in X city, then people can't negotiate on price with you, right? So the best way you can do this is through 3 types of posts in the beginning. Number 1 is a process post. So it's a video where you're explaining the full process. Meeting the client, to sending the invoice, doing the estimate, sending the invoice, coming out and seeing them, doing the measurements, installing, all of that. And you're just kind of walking someone through the process that they would be going through if they were to actually pay for your service. That's one post. Another one would be a testimonial post where you're just interviewing a client. And this is an actual video. So I don't mean like just a static image post. I mean a full-on video where you can literally have a chat with a client and ask them for their review of working with you. And the third one would be tips on the mistakes to avoid for someone who hasn't received your services yet, if they're dealing with the problems that they go through before they land on your service. So now you're just providing value and you're making yourself seem the only viable option, right? But you're just telling them what to navigate in the market when they're going through the troubles, basically, or whatever things that they go through before they land on your service, right? So you're kind of pointing them in the right direction. Those are 3 different types of posts. And then if you pair that with what I'm about to tell you for the highlights, you're golden. So the way you want to look at highlights, aside from having like a highlight for social proof and reviews and stuff, and then client reviews, you want to look at highlights as objection handlers. They are the things that need to handle your objections for you. So, and if you can position every highlight to handle a specific objection, you're absolutely golden. So take the roofers example. We signed on a roofer a couple of days ago, big roofing company here in Calgary, and they do roofing, siding, exteriors, and a bunch of other services that I have, and I can't even recall. And they were optimizing their profile, right? So one of their highlights is the social proof, but another highlight could be what precautions you can take in a hailstorm, right? Now you're providing more value. Another one could be what is our full process? And it's literally just a walkthrough it's like a brochure style story sequence of from the moment someone is interested in working with you up until the moment they not only close the deal, but they receive the service and it's good to go, right? And you can just come up with so many different things, like so many different objections. And how do you actually know what content to create? It's from your market. Listen to your market. Your market is going to give you the objections and just tell you what content you need to create about. Because if you create high quality content like this based off of the feedback of your market, guess what? You're creating sales assets, which are like mini Karis or mini Brandons that work for you. They get you closer to the sale without you doing anything else. And it's just sitting
in the background.
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got an ad here. Make sure to pay attention. What's up, guys? Are you a contractor or business owner looking to take things to the next level? Well, I've got something for you. The Elite Builder Society is a community that helps contractors grow and scale. For $49 a month, you can have access to 20 group coaching calls. Look, you're probably wondering, how am I going to show up to 20 calls, Brandon? That's a lot. And yeah, it is a lot for $49 a month, but every call is recorded so you can watch it at your leisure. But you get the best experience when you're live on the call with us. Okay, at the end of every webinar, there will be a Q&A where you can ask the industry expert questions that you can implement into your business. Look, if you're ready to take things to the next level for $49 a month, go to ebsworks.com and register today. I look forward to seeing you inside the community.
Yeah, so I don't have FAQs on my highlights, and that's definitely something that I should look at incorporating. And I mean, we are going to work together, you and I, and just timing hasn't allowed us necessarily to kind of get some of those things. Just got a lot of shit going on, both of us. So, dude, I mean, for anybody that's listening to this, don't skim over this and think like it doesn't matter. Social exposure converts at a very high level when it's built properly. And one of my newest clients, we just recorded a podcast with him the other day, but he secured a $50,000 job just from outreach and having, social proof on his site. And he wasn't even really littering, high quality social proof. It was pretty light, but that was, a huge part of the conversion for that prospect to come through. And so, outside of building, specific types of content on your Instagram profile, the other element is we have to bring people to that profile. We have to bring people to this digital storefront, so to speak. And so, one of the things that I really noticed about your ads, what really stood out for me was, how we're calling out the city, or we're standing in the location when we're filming it. And, just that visual hook that's connecting them to that familiar place, I think is brilliant. Like, that is so effective in really just, capturing the attention of that market share. And so tell us a little bit about like the ad process. Like, what does the ad process look like, from your perspective on what's been really effective?
Yeah, 100%. So I'll tell you how we got to this system and how we got to this formula, because even now when I chat with clients or prospects, they always say, hey, we always see your clients' ads because we just know it's crafted by your team. Yeah. We know your team is behind this. So I'll tell you how we actually got to this exact formula. Before I moved here, I've been here right now full time for around coming up to 2 years. I think
where did you move from?
So I'm originally Lebanese. I'm all over the place. I've really been all over the place, hence the subtle accent. And I think that's one of the things that honestly I'm very, very, I take pride in because I know I can market anyone regardless of what background they have, regardless of what culture they come from. I'm half Lebanese American. So before this, I was living in Boston for 8 years. Before that, I was living in Doha, which is the complete freaking opposite side of the world, and over in the Middle East. And I actually grew up there as well. I lived a bit in Dubai before that as well. And then I was born in Lebanon. So all over the world, right?
Where's your family?
My family's in Doha, right? So we have we have a couple of businesses there, daycares as well. And 2 years ago, when I was in between Boston and Doha as well, I ran a podcast production studio in Doha, and it was a content studio and high-end equipment, podcast setups. We were creating viral content for business owners, personal brands, CEOs, doctors, lawyers, founders, you name it, we created content for them. So they would come in 30, 40 minutes. We do podcast clips for them, high quality branded podcast. I had 36 editors. I was spending $10K a month on a fancy production studio, and the content looked incredible. Like, some of our clients were hitting 1 million plus views on a single video. Some clients would take 10, 15 videos for it to pop off. But here was the problem, is that going viral and getting local leads are two completely different things.
Yeah.
And honestly, it made me go insane. I was driving myself crazy because we were spending all this money on a fancy production team and everything you can think of, creating incredible content, but clients don't really care. They care about closed deals, right? Like, business owners only care about closed deals. So one client would blow up and get flooded with calls. The next one would get 1 million views and hear nothing, right? So the results were completely unpredictable. Business owners would work with us for like 4 or 5 months. And even though the content was some of the best they've ever had, it's just they'd leave because they need revenue and not just views. So
I mean, that's one of the problems that we have right now. Like, I went from 5,000 followers at the beginning of the year to nearly 19,000. A lot of it is just, within some trial real exposure. And the downside truly with, some of that is that I'm getting flooded with leads, but they're, portion of them are on Avatar. A large portion of them actually truly are, but it's going to take some time to wake them up and bring them around and curate them. And it is a process. Like, when you do capture that much attention, the conversion is spotty, and anybody that tells you that they can control virality and bring you, specific types of followers on avatar I think it's a bit of a washed dream. Like, I think that you can go viral, get a bunch of new followers, and out of that, maybe you've got, a percentage of them would be your clients. But I really think that local ad strategy really filters them down and just clears the dirt, so to speak. So you can just talk to the people that, that want your services. And that's what I want to do with you when we start working together, is kind of change the content that I'm putting out there so that it can command a little bit more authority and really start to, bring in some of those followers. Our followers, like our following, I think will come down from that. But that's okay. I think that at that point, I'm not really trying for this vanity metrics, and I never was. I'm really just trying to serve my clients, and it's cool that you had said that, because that's what I'm noticing happening right now as we kind of blow up with some of our content. Like we'll be at 20,000 for sure by the end of the week at the rate that we're going, and that's not crazy amount. Like I know people with millions of followers, and I couldn't imagine the amount of filtering that they have to do to talk to the right clientele through that whole process.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at, so like views and followers and stuff, I wouldn't look at that as metrics for confirmation bias or to give you confirmation on the strategies that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And this is even with our system as well. So this is why, like, the moment we paired this high quality video content and ran a hyper local ad, it was like everything clicked. Clicked, right? And it would just become a money printer for businesses, like local businesses, because you'd have the high quality content plus the local ad paired with a DM setting system, a DM conversion system that allows them to actually convert these leads. It was like the holy trinity, right? So the number one metric to look at here isn't views, isn't number of increased followers, isn't like impressions. It's how many more closed deals or how many more booked calls are you getting on your calendar. That's what tells you if you're actually getting the right type of client, right? Because you can have a real blow up in freaking Miami, right? But your service area is in Calgary. Like that doesn't matter for you if it blows up somewhere else, right? Yeah. So you want more clients in your local area. And the number one determinant of that is how many more interested qualified leads or qualified calls in your calendar and ultimately close deals.
Yeah. Like if you're a service-based contractor, local to Calgary, Toronto, Vancouver, Boston, California, wherever you may be, and you were to work with Kari's team, basically, what that's going to look like is you can kind of profess into what that experience would look like. But from what I'm gathering from the experience is that when you have the ability to have your digital storefront confirm and validate your clients as they absorb your content, and then you have the ads that are very local to your city, your community, that 10-mile radius that you talk, 10 to 15-mile radius that you talk about, and then they drop into your DMs, they message you. When what I've learned, because a lot of my conversions happen through the DMs. So we've gotten really good at our DM setting, and we've got tools and systems and bots and all kinds of people. I'm sure so many people have had conversations with my virtual assistant, Emma, about all the things, but a lot happens when somebody sends you a message. When somebody sends you a message, it shows that they're pushing, that they're interested. They haven't bought from you, but they still have to, they're in a buying position, right? When they send that message saying, I want whatever it is that you do, they're in a buying position. And so these local ads do work. Like Instagram, you can generate revenue from Instagram.
You said it yourself. When someone's interested, it's like you said, they have buying intent, right? It's literally like someone walking up to your brick and mortar storefront and then just standing outside the door, waiting for you to welcome them in, right? So if you have,
you'd mentioned that one of your clients, maybe it was the Rolls Royce bathroom ceiling guy, but he had like hundreds of messages.
Yeah. I have a realtor who just closed 6 deals in 1 month off of 3K in ad spend, and that's like 60K in the bank.
Yeah. That's wild. And like, just to be clear, like these aren't, so you might see the ads where it's like send a message, right? That's not the ads that he's suggesting you generate. He's suggesting that you generate a following ad. I
can explain the full system if you'd like. And a briefer. So it's 3 pillars, right? This whole system is built on 3 pillars. The first pillar is the hyper local ad, where we come out and film a 30 to 60 second video ad. And by the way, this is the same system that we use to acquire our own clients. So we use our exact own medicine to acquire our own clients. And so we know it works. So we film that hyper local ad. It's a 30 to 60 second ad that runs all over your city that tells people about your business, what you do, who you are, right? And how they can contact you. And it drives them as a follower, like for them to follow your page, right? So we're taking all that traffic that we get from running that 30 to 60 second local Instagram ad about your roofing business, for example. And at the end of that ad, it gets them to follow your page. Now that we're directing all that traffic into your Instagram page, that page has to build immediate trust to convert that attention, right? So that's where we optimize that bio, that digital storefront, and we film an additional 9 reels that position your brand as an authority, as the best in the game, right? As an industry leader. So now that you have the ad driving that targeted traffic from your city into your Instagram profile, your digital storefront, and then the 9 high quality reels plus, your optimized profile, building that trust with them. Now we need a way to actually convert it, right? So that's where we install our AI DM setting system. It's going to automatically send out a first personalized message to every new lead and follower coming in, because they come in as followers and direct messages that are interested in your services. So it sends out that personalized message to greet them. And at that point, you just pick and choose who you want to work with, who you actually want to work with, and respond to them using our framework. Once our clients close a couple of deals in their first 1 or 2 weeks, because most of our clients end up closing their first deal by the end of week 1 or week 2, and we have over 57 clients that have done it right now in Calgary, then that is where we automatically plug in someone that's going to be handling the conversations for them on Instagram. So it's completely hands off. So I wake up right now because I have
setter.
Exactly, a DM setter. So I wake up and I hands off of Instagram. I have 5 DM setters on my account, and I just wake up and I have calls on my calendar flooded on my phone, right? So that's the system. That's when the system is like fully up and running. That's what it looks like.
What's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying this episode of the On-Site Podcast. So here's the deal. We want to grow this show and we need your help. It's simple. Pay the tax, share the show. That's it. Let's get back into it.
So if anybody in North America, or worldwide for that matter, wants to connect with Kari, learn about what this experience could look like, Kari, where can people find you?
They can find me on Calgary Ads Guy. That's my Instagram. Yeah, on my Instagram, you'll find my YouTube as well. I always have it in my bio. You can even check out my website, stampedesales.ca. But yeah, just hit me up on Instagram. We focus on Instagram. We sell Instagram, so just find me on Instagram.
Love it, brother. So, dude, you've been all over the world. You've been in Calgary for 2 years. Tell me, what do you like about the city?
So aside from me finding my partner, who's Canadian here, I always had a bunch of friends who were entrepreneurs. I just never knew they were all in Calgary. So, and by that time, we already had like 1 or 2 clients. So I was like, let me come out there and see what the Stampede hype is all about, which is the Calgary Stampede, which is, one of the reasons why I called the company Stampede Sales. So I came out and I was like, motherfuckers, you guys are all here and I've never heard about this place. And then that was also where I saw my first Calgary Stampede. I loved it. I met my partner and we worked with a couple of clients. I was like, okay, it just makes sense. It's like God's way of telling me I got to be out here. So yeah, I shut my studio down, ran a couple of ads, and 57 clients later, here we are.
It's crazy, man. The city's beautiful.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Out my window, out to the right here, we have Stampede Park, which is coming up this summer, and my kids are going to experience that this year. So that'll be super cool. It's definitely a fun experience for sure. So anything else you want to share with us about your business, about what's coming up? What else you want to tell everyone?
Yeah, I think one thing I would say is I'd like to leave them with something to think about, right? If they don't believe, one of the reasons why I got started in this marketing game is because of my own mother. My own mother has multiple daycares back in Doha, right? It's funny now. One of my
legitimate ones.
Yeah. Legitimate ones. Like it's. So.
Anytime somebody says daycare, I think that's just gonna be the trend for the next couple of years, whether or not they're legitimate or not.
Yeah. It's funny, one our biggest, most of our clients, I have 12 daycares here in Calgary and in Vancouver as well. So they just keep popping up, right? So
crazy.
My own mother
hopefully we don't have to get what's his name? What's the guy's name that did the little hunt there?
He's good. He's good on camera.
Yeah, he's great. I don't even remember, but which is crazy because I watch all of his shit. But anyway, daycares. Okay, so your mom ran some daycares.
Yeah, and this is partly one of the reasons why I started in marketing. I've been in the game for around 9 years now, right? But I've seen business owners kind of spin their head around social media, hire different done for you agencies that's going to fulfill the service, and you don't know what's going on in the background, and then you don't believe in social media at all. The first thing is, no one's ever going to treat your business the way you do. No one's ever going to prioritize your business the way you do. So if you don't take the time to figure out marketing or learn how to market your own business, no one's going to do it for you. And that's why you're always going to be kind of like in the dark. You don't know exactly what's going on with how your business is being marketed. The second thing, this shit works. Social media marketing works. It actually works. It's like once you crack it, you'll see it yourself, right? It legit works. There's a reason why people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a day on ad spend. And then you're going to tell me that you spent $500 on ads and it didn't work, so you don't believe in social media anymore? Come on.
Yeah,
like,
well, that book that you have,
100%.
So that book, I think he had 1,200 ads running to get people in that room, and I don't know how many people showed up, but he made millions of dollars in 2 days, all from ads. He wouldn't have got, he's got a local brand, like he's got a visible brand, but Alex generated those millions of dollars from ads. It's measurable and it works. 100%. And I've done lots of it. That guy's name is Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley's the hunter of non-legitimate daycares, but yours are legit. All of your clients' daycares are legit.
Yeah.
So stay away, Nick Shirley. Dude, no, that was great. Love connecting with you. I'm excited for you, present again in the community. We're gonna get you in there for sure, and get you to present at our seminar up in Chilliwack coming up in July.
I'm excited.
So it'd be like a month from when this ad gets live. So if you're local to BC or Chilliwack area, lower Abbotsford kind of area, and you want to buy a ticket, and there might be still some available, just head into my bio. You'll see there's a link to grab yourself a ticket, $97 to join our single day seminar. And Kari will be presenting along with myself and a few other great people as well, filled with lots of positive, game-changing information. So, Kari, dude, really appreciate it. Anything else you want to share to wrap this up?
I'm excited. The one thing that I would say, maybe some towards your community, or since you have a lot of contractors following you, is the faster you get on this, the faster on social media and local ads too, the faster you outpace your competition. Because I think we know, even in the contracting space, a lot of people probably wouldn't even put in the time to learn social media, right? They could be outdated. They could be like not ahead of the curve, right? So if you just dedicate that tiny bit of effort, you're going to create such a big discrepancy between you and all your competitors. And that dent and the discrepancy is felt more in the contracting industry than probably any other industry, right? Because everyone's still like relying on random strategies, whereas if you just dedicate a bit of time to mastering marketing and learning local ads and content that positions you as an authority, they can't keep up with you. So and we
have you listened to one more thing here? Have you listened, because you're touching on a really good point. I know we're trying to wrap this up here, but there's this book that I listened to. I can't remember the exact name. I was trying to search it up quick, but it's I think it's The Billionaire Mindset. And what it talks about is just the awareness, populational awareness. Like there's, I don't know how many people are on planet Earth, 8 billion, 9 billion people, something like that. Billions of people on planet Earth. Your market share would encapsulate in a part of those people, right? And understanding, how many people can be in your market share and how to, really, really expose them is something that really shifted my mindset. Like when I listened to that book, I thought about, okay, well, how many contractors are in my, portfolio, or not portfolio, but in my prospective client list. And I've got over 600,000 just in North America.
Wow.
And so once you start thinking like that, it's like, well, how are you going to get in front of all those people? And this platform is connected to all of them, and the craziest part is like, it does work. It does convert, and everything Kari's talking about and everything, that he's been doing has been really effective. And so, take a look at your market share and ask yourself a real question, how are you going to get in front of all of these people? In the most economical, affordable way possible. And Instagram ads and exposure is a great way of doing that. So it's a great conversation. Definitely, if anybody want to connect with Kari, definitely, go hit him up on Instagram, and you'll be glad you did. Appreciate you, Kari. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you, man. It was a great chat.
Awesome, brother. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, that concludes this episode of the On-Site Podcast. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, please pay the tax, share the show. Guys, if you want to be a part of the Elite Builder Society, all you got to do is pay $49 a month. That's it. $49 a month. You get 20 group coaching calls every month. Okay? Go to ebsworks.com and register today. If you enjoyed the show, please pay the tax and share the show.